Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I'm going to paint a cow. I have a few cow videos on my channel. I just have really gotten into them. They're cute. I love their noses. This reference photo is on Pexels, PEXELS.com. I'll link it in this video's description. Isn't that fun? I like the lighting. So there's lighting on the top. There's a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, on the side of the nose, underneath on the chest. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to paint it on a 12 by 12 inch cradled wood panel from US Art Supply. I've got clear gesso on it. I put the clear gesso on this morning and dried it really well with a hairdryer, and now it's about 4 hours later. 1.5 inches thick. Here's what it looks like on the back. I've printed out my photo to scale. I don't usually show this in the beginning, but I thought that might be helpful. I've cropped it square. I'm going to scribble on the back of it with chalk pastel and then trace it with a ballpoint pen to get it on my wood panel. I'm going to paint, sometimes I paint the background. I'm going to do the sky and some ground, and I think I'm going to do some sunflowers. Sometimes I'll do that first, and sometimes I'll paint around the animal. The only reason I'm going to paint around the animal is because I like the warmth of the wood to come through on the cow, on the colors on the cow. Okay guys, let's jump in. Okay, so I used Phthalo Blue. These are all going to be Liquitex. Raw Sienna, I think that's going to be the main color of the cow. I may add some black to it to make it darker, make it more of a burnt umber. So Raw Sienna, Phthalo Blue, I sprayed it with water so it's running. Mars Black, Titanium White. And I put out a pile of white, add Phthalo Blue to it and Raw Sienna, and I got this nice vintage kind of aqua color, which is very similar to the sky I get when I use Phthalo Blue green shade and Mars Black. That's kind of funny, pretty much the same color. I added some Mars Black to it to even calm it down. So blue and orange are complements, so that helps mute it, but I think there's more yellow in there or something going on. It was why I got kind of an aqua color. And then I just used a 3/4 inch flat brush from Royal and Lang Nickel. I could have used a bigger one, but it was easier to kind of have it thinner and smaller to get around the cow when I was painting around the cow. I'm not sure I like this dark streak, but I think it'll probably be fine. I'm going to put smaller sunflowers. I can always come back and lighten it up. I'm going to save my background palette. The other colors I'm going to use some Quinacridone Magenta because I'm going to want to have some pink for the nose. And that might be it. I don't really need the yellow. Oh, I'm going to need the yellow for sunflower. So Phthalo Blue, Quinacridone Magenta, Cad Yellow Medium Hue, Raw Sienna for convenience. Oh, I've lost where. Oh, Titanium White and Mars Black. Okay, guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Hey friend, this is a couple days later. So I've set up I have a background palette And then now I have my cow palette going. Oops, and I sprayed, I'm gonna wipe that. I sprayed, I don't know why I'm saying sprayed. Oh, I misted it to help keep it because it's been a couple days later. So Phthalo Blue, I think we've already talked about the colors. Phthalo Blue, Cad Yellow, Quinacridone Magenta. So primary colors, red, yellow, blue, Mars Black, Titanium White. I mixed kind of a blue, gray, green color. So the cow has white around the eyes. Here, I'll show you. Kind of got it zoomed in already. See if we can do it without getting glare. White around the eyes. You're gonna get glare from my window. And the nose, but it's not white. Oh, sorry about all the glare. You can tell it's afternoon. There's some white on the very tops of the horns, where the highlight is. And then there's like a yellow highlight on the top of the head. So that's where I'll use white. So this might be too blue, too green. But once I get more of the cow in, I'll know. And if I put in some of the highlights, I'll know too. That'll help too. I did, while I was thinking of it, put a little yellow on the chin, glazed it, and then glazed a little green, because I'm gonna have, I think, little sunflowers coming up into here. I'm painting shapes, and you can really see it around the eyes. So let's take a closer look. So the shape of the white above the eye, but then also while I'm there, I put in some value changes. And they might not be right, but they're close enough. I can always change them. And then the eyes, there's not a lot to them. I might put a highlight in them. Oh, sorry, drifting there. I might not. Kind of started putting some of the brown shapes around that eye. So I hope that makes sense. Then here's the nose. That nose could be done. Excuse me. What's really neat is I added a little black to the quinacridone, and it makes kind of a pretty purple color. Grab a little white. Isn't that fun? Isn't that pretty? And then I just put a little brown in it for the nose. So brown, to make a brown, in case you're new to my channel, I usually make an orange from my lot more yellow, some quinacridone. Oh, I'm also using raw sienna. That's another color. I'm using a convenience color. So I probably used the raw sienna and added black, but you can make orange and add some black to it to make various browns. If you want a rustier red brown, you add more red to it. You want a more yellow brown like this, you add yellow to it. I forgot about the raw sienna. Okay, I think that gets us up to speed. I'm going to work on the horns. So I do the eyes and the nose because that's what people look at. So they're not done, but I get them in, get them sort of set. I can always change them, as I said. The horns, there's going to be some, I think cows have hair that goes over the horns, and the horns are kind of fun. I don't know if you can see this. Here, let's find something to point with. It's red purple. I can see red purple in the photo, and then here's kind of a blue purple. Now you don't have to paint those colors, but I'm going to do it, and if I don't like it, I can always tone it down with another layer of paint. But I think that's kind of fun. This one has almost like a little bit of pink. You don't have to put that in, but if you start looking, you'll see colors. Now maybe you can see the purple kind of there. Oops, get it in frame, Annie. Yeah, you zoom in on the photo. That's really helpful. The downside of an iPad is that it's backlit screen. So you're just not gonna get the glow. Oh, sorry about all the glare. But you can zoom in and see the color. Or you can put it in a program where you saturate the color, or a little free app. If you guys know one, post it in the comments. And you can even enhance the color to help you paint. If you're trying to paint more color and it's not happening, it can help you do that until you get used to it. Because right now it looks really funny, I think. Yeah, we already did a close-up. Okay, guys, that gets us up to speed. I'll be back in a bit. thought I'd pop in. I've put a couple, at least 2 layers of paint on the body of the cow. A little more in some areas. It was helpful to sort of draw in the shadow shapes. And I didn't follow them exactly. I followed them more exactly in the beginning. And then as I start to build up the body, I wasn't worried about getting every wrinkle. Here, let's show you every wrinkle since I just commented on that. You can. You totally can. Sometimes I do. And I might come back and put them in more strongly. Right now I've got the highlight, I think that's about the right value. It's lighter over here in the photo. Here, might as well show you that. Oops. Come on. But I don't know if I want to do that. I want to keep the lightest highlights over towards the subject of my painting, which is the cow's face. I don't know if it really matters. Like, it's a portrait of a cow. I'd say this in a lot of videos. I don't think it really matters, but that's the stuff I think about. I used a 3/4 inch flat brush from US Art Supply. If I can kind of, it's separating. Get it to, oh well. Really inexpensive, came in a pack. I like them. I like the thin brushes sometimes so I don't get too heavy with the paint in the beginning. You guys might like a thicker brush. I've got all my browns and I just kind of kept mixing. Like that has a little bit more red in it for up in here, just to change the color but not the value so much. I think that gets us up to speed. I could lighten some things up. I really need to get the face done since that's the star of our show. Okay guys, I'll be back in a bit. Hey, I thought I'd pop in. I've been working on it for a couple hours. I don't know how many days later. I think this is just a day later. Finished this ear, painted that ear. You don't have to do this, but like I put some blues on these longer hairs here. Just sort of cooler in the shade, warmer on the sun side, even though this is in the shade. I think the colorful horns are working. But it's hard because the face is kind of a mess yet. It's an ugly stage, but I'm building up values, putting in some lines. I'm trying not to put in all of them. My tendency is to get really realistic, and I've been working for maybe a year now on getting looser. But I think those colorful horns work. I'm also quitting because the sun is going to stream in here pretty quick, and I'll have sun splashes on my canvas, which is okay for painting, but not so great for videoing. Here, maybe we'll just do a little tour. That might be helpful. If I had more contrast, I could get more glow down here, or maybe put some kind of orangey, like I did up and around the ears. Yeah, let's do a little tour. On the other hand, I don't know if I want to call a bunch of attention to there. I haven't done much with the nose, but I have painted around the nose now. And I think the eye highlights around the eyes, where there's white hair, is too blue. On the other hand, it's in the shadow, so I'll know better when I get more of the face done. There, see, that's a nice glow on that ear. Well, here, ear and horn might be a good up-close view. And having a little bit of reflective light is really nice. You can see that in a reference photo too. That can really help make something look realistic, even if you're painting looser. And just because I'm painting looser, I'm still not painting any faster. It's still deliberate. I'm just trying to do fewer brush strokes. Larger brush strokes too. So there's, see if I can get it in there. Maybe if I back up that ear and horn. It's coming together. I think the body works pretty good. I really like the strong lighting on this one. I think it'll be really fun with a few sunflowers. Okay guys, hopefully that tour and a couple of those comments help. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I'm calling it done. I never like my paintings. Well, I shouldn't say never. I'm on top of it. There's a lot of things I like about it. Let's start here. I did come back and try to smooth it out a little bit. For a loose painting, I have a lot of detail. I'm just I'm not sure exactly what I'm going for. I mean, because everybody's definition of loose is different. I'm just trying to push myself most of the time. You know, try to grow as an artist, try different things. Speed up a little bit. The more paintings I can paint, the faster, the more money I can make. Eventually, I might be able to raise my prices. That'll help too. Let's see. So the camera is off to the left, and then the cow's body looks really big, and then the head looks smaller. So let's see if I can square it up to the camera so you get a better idea. I can't square it up. Get a better idea of what it looks like. Is that pretty good? That's pretty good at the top. That's not bad. It's better than the other camera angle. So it doesn't look quite so disproportionate. Because at the angle when I set it down here, then the body gets real big. Oops, does that make sense? That's a little more accurate. Trying to just kind of keep messing with it. Okay, I really like, so the yellow is semi-transparent. In case you haven't, it's not a big deal, but it tells you right on the tube. That little box is half full on the diagonal. That means it's semi-transparent. And if you have thin paint, it'll be decently transparent. You'll just have to play with it. It'll also depend on your brand. You'll have to look at the tube on your brand. And so that's like one coat of yellow over the blue. So it's kind of greenish, darkish, right at the bottom of that petal. I'm looking for something to point with here. Oh, and I use this, I don't know what size it is. Maybe a 3/8 filbert. Really cheap. I got it on Amazon. It used to say Zhu, Z-H-U-T-I-N-G. The thing about them is it doesn't take much time before the handles swell and the paint pops off, if that bothers you. But it can make a nice big petal, or on its side it can make a skinnier petal. So I just put like one layer of yellow on and figured out where the petals were going. I put some really fat or thick paint. I don't know if you can see the ridge there. So there's a ridge of yellow. I don't want to touch it because it's probably not dry all the way through. And I also put like some yellow and white, and then sometimes painted over that with yellow because it'll be stronger with the white behind it. And then I also mixed a little yellow and raw sienna for some brownish color. Right here. Hopefully that was all in frame. I drew the flowers on with a General's charcoal pencil. Oh, I should wash off the charcoal. I glazed a little yellow on the underside of the chin. I had some green too. I think there's still a little green in there. And then I had it was a neat light highlight right here, but it was making this nostril look a little triangular shape compared to that one. So I knocked it down, and then I took a little magenta and darkened the bottom of so his mouth opens like right here. So I darkened the bottom, the top of his nose there. I think you don't really think about or look at too much that there's some purple in his nose, purple in the horns, purple in the ears, blue, or her. It might be a her. I think this is a Jersey cow, but the long ear hair throws me. I'll show you the reference photo. I'll link it in this video's description. Almost like a little bit like a Highland cow or something with that ear hair. And then I made the nose pinker, which makes it sweeter. Oh, I Googled wild sunflowers. I can't show you the photo because I'm sure it's copyrighted, but there's a lot of them out there, and the ones I liked, I'm not sure if all the photos that popped up were wild, but they almost had more of a daisy, smaller flowers, longer petals, smaller centers, and like a big sunflower that's for seeds. We have a big center and then the short petals, yellow petals. I think that's about it. This is a little greener, and this is a little browner, the whites. I don't know if you can see that. See the color change? That's kind of fun. People might not really see it unless they study it. I still think that's fun. The horns, I think, turned out really well, even though they're very colorful. I like sort of the rim lighting or the edge lighting from the strong sunlight coming from the top and behind. I think that's a lot of fun. That's one of the reasons I picked the photo, was the ears and the highlight. Okay guys, let me know if you give this one a try. It is so fun to hang out with you. I super appreciate your support. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye guys.